Still my. Mine is. Are they? Contact. Type in contact Ultra. It should be on after the news. If it doesn't come on, you can put that in a fast track. I can't hear it. Norrie, remember if you want them to anything be posting, you've got to press that wee button to give me it. Welcome along to IndyLive Radio today, Friday the 12th of June. It really is a fantastic day. Yeah, Eva Geber, yeah, Edinburgh Radio Station. 12 o'clock, he's looking for people to Yes, indeed. Fantastic day. Haircut 100. And there's a reason for playing that one so early on. It's because me and Kev have just been shorn. Both of us. Without telling each other, both arrived at the studio today. He goes, "You've had a haircut." And I says, "So have you." I think Kev's is better than mine, actually. That's all right. But oh, wait a minute, Kev. There you go. Can he put him off? There you go. Are you on?
Hey, am I on? I don't
Yep,
think
yeah,
I
you're
am.
on.
Am I?
He's away at the other end of the studio, so it's there must be a time lag or something, Kev, because I couldn't hear you there for a second.
Well, I don't know if I am switched on.
You are. There you go.
Okay.
Right, now today, big day. Eva Gerber, the German cyclist, who cycled from Germany all the way through Holland, through England, and now up in Scotland, has arrived in Edinburgh. And she's going to be at the Waverley station at 12 o'clock. Is that right, Kev? 12 o'clock?
That's right, 12 o'clock.
And she's really wanting a lot of people to go and meet her. She's come a long way. Now, folks, if you're in the Edinburgh area, if you're, or even round about, or if you know somebody that's coming off a train, go and see Eva. She's travelled a long way in the sake of independence for Scotland. So Eva Gerber at the train station in Edinburgh, Waverley train station, that is, at 12 p.m. Go out and meet her if you can. Right, Kev, what have we got today? We've got, it's yesterday, Friday, but...
Again, because we're still sorting out all the techie stuff, right? It does take a while. We've not been able to concentrate on the finding guests, right?
No.
But if anybody wants to, come on today, gives us a shout out, talk about what's happening in your Yes group, we'd love to know. We've had some crackers, haven't we?
Oh, we have. We really wanted to get in touch with Yes Dumfries because they have now got their mobile Yes Hub. And it's being launched today. So we were trying to get them, but I think they're really busy.
Well, I tell you what, haven't we interviewed them before?
Yes, we have. And they were doing their crowdfunder, hence coming on our show.
Well, I tell you what, I could give them a little message and tell them we're calling them.
Well, we could maybe
surprised.
set that up, but we can't promise anything. As ever, this is live radio and things just don't work to plan sometimes.
Yeah.
But we'll try our best. We've got a lot to discuss on the show today. German minister set to take top EU role is a fan of Nicola Sturgeon. This is big news.
Yeah, that is good, isn't it?
It really is.
No surprise there, though, mind you.
Well, I know, but we'll be looking at that, Kev, the implications of that. The other thing about another implication for the people of Scotland is the declaration of Arbroath is to go on public display. When you see that and you get educated about Scotland's history, that might turn a few heads as well. We are an ancient nation. Some people try to dispute that on Twitter and Facebook. I read yesterday, but I think one person said, Kev, that Scotland was a nation before England.
Well, actually, did you say 500 years?
700 years.
700 years, right? And they keep banging on about the Union being
300
years old,
Yeah.
right? Before, right? We were sucked into this union against the wishes of the people at the time, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But democracy didn't exist.
No, it
was
didn't.
The landed owners that made that happen.
Well, we'll be looking at the implications of that. There's also a great piece in the National today, Kev, I want to have a wee look at. It's David Pratt. He's saying why Brexit Britain shows all the chaotic hallmarks of an impending failed state. Now, this is a journalist that's been to a lot of places where the state has failed and collapsed. And we'll get we'll look at his take on why he thinks Britain's in the same mould as third world countries, etc., that have gone and collapsed.
Yeah.
Could be a telling feature in the news today.
Very much so. That'll be interesting.
What else? Aberdeen were playing last night. Oh, man alive, 2-0 up. And last minute of extra time, we'll give away an away goal.
Do you know what? See the team that were playing, right? I had no idea where they were.
They're Finnish champions, right?
Right.
They're Finnish. They should have been finished last night. Their goalie was inspired. I was listening to it on the radio. What a match he had. But we missed a few chances. So Kelly got through 2-1. None of those games were on the telly. Both Celtic and Rangers were on the telly.
Really?
Aye.
I've got no idea.
I know. Oh, I do. As an Aberdeen fan, I get really annoyed at that. Well, never mind. We'll have Adam Sutherland in a minute. And then after that, we'll get you not the news, the weather actually. But wherever you are, I hope it's as good as it is in Glasgow.
Yeah, and if you want to tell us,
let
tell
us
us know. Just put in the hashtag IndyLive weather. I'll be monitoring it on this laptop over there that you can't see.
Aye.
And you can drop us some messages on our chat box. IndyLive.radio.
Indeed. And what we'll do is we'll get Adam Sutherland, top Scottish fiddler, to play us a few tunes while I get the weather sorted.
Alrighty.
Well, today it's going to be a better day than it has been over the last few days. The low, put my teeth back in. The low pressure has been shifted by some high pressure, allowing hotter weather to get in. Some mist and low cloud at first, though. Then sunny intervals and mostly dry, but the odd sharp shower possible in the afternoon. But a maximum temperature of 22 degrees centigrade, better than what it's been. We were talking earlier about the declaration of our broth getting put back in public domain. This is quite important because it gives people a sense of who they are and where they come from. And this, it's not much, but it's 700 years old, and it's going on the Scottish one of the museums. I'll find out where it was. It's going. What bit of paper have I got? Oh, I don't know what it is. The National Museum of Scotland in 2020. That's when it's coming out. It's going there. So if you want to go and see it and want a bit of history that you'll never get in in your school books, that would be quite a thing for a lot of people, I imagine, to go and see the Declaration of Arbroath and understand what it means, and to show you that Scotland was, indeed, as Kevin said earlier, independent country, 400 years before the union of the parliaments. So, should we go back to what we were and do our own thing? Trading with Europe. It's almost like full circle, Kev, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we come out of the Union of England, when I was at university, I'd done a lot of history as well as in my politics degree. And I got a book by a guy called Dr. David Ditchburn, and it was called Scotland in Europe, the 13th Century. And the way we traded with countries, Holland especially, and Russia, right across with the Tsars, and to the Prussians as well, Prussians. That was before Germany got established, and etc., etc. And even to this day, Billy Kay's got a great book about the Scots diaspora, and when you go to these places, you'll find names like Cameron and Mackenzie, integrated into their language. They're not Cameron. It's Cameron or something, Kamensky or something now. But originally that came from Scotland and the trading. And here's the thing. I probably said this before as well. In the Doric, there's words like dicht and kirk. Kirk is a church. Dicht is to wipe out your face. That kind of thing. They came back the way from Holland. And Holland now uses some words that we use. Aye. They can use that sometimes interchangeable.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So this happened in the 13th century when language changed borders. And that was back in the day, of course, when Gaelic was spoken quite a lot, or in fact, massively in Scotland. And Latin was another language of the elite classes from the universities. So it was a different time, but Scotland did trade with other countries.
Norrie, I'm just checking. I'm definitely switched on.
Yep, you are. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good stuff.
It's paranoia for Kev.
I know. I'm just looking at the sound levels going up and down, and when I talk, it's not very loud.
No, mine's is Kev. Relax.
Okay,
relax,
right,
fella.
You're the man.
Relax. See, this nervousness is infectious. He's now got me worried about what
Don't worry about it.
Right, I'll have to get a nice cup of coffee and I'll lie down somewhere. Kev, I watched a good film. When was it I went to see it? A couple of nights. What was it? Taron Egerton. Elton John biopic.
Oh yeah, so that was up too much, was it?
Rocket Man. Well, brilliant film.
Yeah.
The lives of one man playing a piano and singing a song to becoming a superstar, but the toll it had in his body and his mind. Became an alcoholic, throwing drugs down his face at a rate of knots. Couldn't handle just the same old routine. You would think playing to 100,000 people would be a big buzz it would be for us.
Yeah,
but you do it all the time.
Incredibly talented man, so he is brilliant.
But
I'm thinking more Toy Story 4.
You're a Philistine. That is just rubbish. Toy Story 4.
I've not had a chance to go and see it, but the family did, and they were loving it. But I'm taking you away from our conversation here, but there you go.
Well, I was just saying, looking back on somebody's life, it was a good 1.5 hours. That's all I'm saying.
Good stuff, yeah.
Right, what have we got? If you want to get in touch, of course. I must give a shout out, Kev, to Liz, if you're listening. In the newsagents in Silverton Hill and Hamilton. You said you'd be listening today, Liz, so I'll give you a wee shout out. Get in touch if you want on the IndyLive. Well, we'll give all the details out, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we've got a little jingle there that
Have.
does it all for us to make it easier for us. No, because we keep fluffing it up.
Is it this one, Kev?
Go for it.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's see. Break note. What? It's not going to play, Kev. I don't know why.
See, we keep doing this, don't it? Every time it's like say out what the number is, the hashtag and all that. I know. So this wee jingle was set up so that we didn't need to worry about it. But
well, do you know this? When we came in this morning, Kev was like, I don't know why, Norrie. I don't know why. It's just not working. I said, what, Kev, relax, man. What's happening? The cameras aren't working, Norrie.
Seriously, that was such a pain.
The cameras aren't working. I says, Kev, calm down, man. This'll be all right. It'll be okay today. Don't worry. Come on, we'll get started and then we'll get on with it.
I get some new tech in and I plugged it all in and then the cameras stopped working. I worked last night and was testing it, right? Then it stopped when I came in this morning. And I couldn't find my t-shirt either.
Oh no, his t-shirt. He couldn't find his t-shirt.
My beautiful t-shirts.
By the way, can you see mine? If you're looking on the live stream, it's Newsnet Scotland.
Yeah, that's a classic t-shirt. Classic.
Takes me back when I was first getting into politics and the referendum. That was the only website I could find. There was no
That's
wings.
right, because they were doing it, weren't they?
It was Wee Ginger Doug. Somebody else, Kev. I can't mind who it was. Who was it again? Who was the other guys involved?
Wee Ginger Doug was involved. Angela Haggerty get involved. There was Jay Ponsonby. There was quite a few. I can't remember all the names, but it was it's quite an interesting story there.
Well, Kev, this is
Hello.
This is the film we was talking about.
All right.
That was my link before you went into Toy Story.
another feed. I'll try to get another feed of contact that Linda so that I can. I need one too. It's complicated. Yeah, I'm having to switch on. See when the music comes on, I should be able to automatically detect it. If it's just the music piece and it picks up a wee jingle. But sorry. Yeah, I'm not getting the music come through, so you're okay. That's right, you've got to set it down to give me the music if it ever else has come through it. So it could be a wee thing from whoever about status you want it to put it through. Norrie, I am low. I'm watching it. When I speak, I'm a bit low. I'm watching my sound a bit. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's better. Yeah. See, I get your levels coming through when you talk, right, on my beamer. It comes through and I can see your audio going up. So when you're talking, it's higher than I'm the other piece of it is too low. But that's okay. If you think I'm okay there, that's fine.
Had a wee bit of a break there. I'm waiting for Kev's contact IndyLive radio thing to go on, but it didn't do it. So we'll have that for later, I think. It's just so that you can get in touch with us. It's indylive.radio. Go to the webpage, scroll right to the bottom, and you get to the chat box. Leave any message you like there. So sorry about that wee interlude. We're back now, Kev. We're going to. You're really worried, aren't you?
No, I'm okay now.
All right. You're still worried about.
No, it's going up. I see you've increased my audio a little bit because I'm watching it in my computer.
Kev, before we go on, there's a couple of things that have just come in. I think this happened yesterday, but cafe owner Lisanne Zeitzman will fly back to South Africa after her refusal to stay in Scotland has been refused. This came from the Home Office. This is one that the National put out. Somebody that came to Scotland, created a business, created jobs, a welcome addition to Scotland, and a country in England has said, no, she can't stay.
Well, if you hand over those powers to another country, that's what happens. They do what's beneficial for them and not for us. So that's what we did in 2014. We handed control back to Westminster, to another country, to control those powers.
It must be now, surely. The debate must be had, Kev. Immigration must be devolved to Scotland. We've different.
I think we're beyond that, Norrie.
I know.
We need independence.
I know.
Or, these things will happen again. But yeah, I mean, if you want to talk devolution of more powers, they'll never give us that.
But Kev,
they won't give us broadcast.
Yeah. No, they won't. They won't even have it. They won't discuss it. The thing here, Kev, that gets to me every time I see one of these stories come up, it's somebody's lives, somebody's livelihoods We're not just talking about numbers here or a name game. This is people's lives. This really angers me.
How much, energy, and emotion and stress and whatever, that person's put into coming to Scotland, setting up a business is no easy thing, especially in another country, doing all that, right? Employing people, right? And being told you're no longer wanted.
I just find that incredible. What do you think out there? Let's have your views.
But look at Windrush as well. These people were over here for long enough. And
Kev, it's not one isolated case, it's loads of cases. But we want people's views on this, so if you have got a view, immigration for Scotland, isn't it high time that came to Edinburgh? We can't have this, we can't have people's lives being ruined, changed for the worse. There's people with kids and families having to leave and go because the Home Office has deemed them unsuitable for whatever reason. And there's a cloak of secrecy here about why they actually put people away, like they did with the Windrush, just because of this hostile environment they created down south.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's and it's all very. It seems very racist to me. Britain for Brits and all that.
Well, the other thing that came up yesterday while I was off, Kev, I was looking at the news, was Liddington. This guy Liddington from the UK government. I'm not sure what department he's from, but he's saying they're going to have to rebrand the Union flag in Scotland to catch up with the SNP because there's a near and present danger of the UK splitting. So,
well, yeah.
Aye, so
goodbye.
He's thinking
they can keep for the rest of the UK can keep their little flag, Union Jack flag, an emblem of British Empire and all that, and stealing resources from other countries and mass slaughter and all that. But you can keep it, shove it. Sorry.
Well, if you've got a different opinion to Kevin, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear another positive opinion about us keeping the Union flag. Please do. I've been intrigued to hear that. Does
it mean something special to you? Get in touch, IndyLive.radio. Give us a message if you want to. So this branding thing, David Liddington is saying only the devolved administration's logo is prominently displayed on things that the Scottish government open, like the bridge, the Queensferry Bridge, or the South Queensferry Bridge, or whatever it's called. It's got Scottish government on it. But what did the UK government have to do with that anyway? Nothing.
They did absolutely nothing to do with it.
What have they done? And I tell you, it's not just the devolved administration's displays that are prominently signed. The EU's signs are all over the Highlands for bridges, schools, roads, community centres.
I remember, right? Okay, when in much younger days, when I used to go down the local rivers and all that, we used to do mad things. You get away with that at that age, that period in time. And me and my mate used to swim in the local river, and at that time it was just pollution come straight out into the river. And if it wasn't for the EU and their clean river policies and all that, it would never have happened.
Clear water.
Right, and they instigated all that. If it was left to the Westminster, never have happened.
Here's the thing, Kev. When you get Brexit, let's make no bones about this, the most important thing to those Brexiteers will be money.
Oh yeah, it's all about money. And power. They don't give a
backstop.
Care.
Doesn't matter. Scotland doesn't matter. No. But Scotland's oil will matter because that equals money. And it's going to be a really dangerous time for people who haven't got money. I heard a report just the other day, consultants in the National Health Service, in England this is, if they work an extra day, extra shift, they get taxed so much on that, that it's not worth doing that extra shift. So here's the thing.
Oh, I'm heartbroken for
them.
No.
Well, hold on, Kev.
Wage,
hold on. They've worked hard. I don't begrudge those people for what they do for them. They save lives, etc. I don't begrudge them that. If one of their colleagues is off sick on the Saturday, they then cannot do that shift because they would lose money because the tax they pay on that is so heavy.
Right.
So what you've got is you've got a waiting list of people trying to get seen for their treatments. and they've got no consultants, because why? The consultants are no wanting to pay their taxes to that government in England.
Well,
and yet I don't blame them.
Well, you get another issue as well. You know, I mean, we can't exactly bring over all these doctors, etc. We're not exactly creating an environment where they're welcomed.
Even if you get these consultants over, they go into the same pay scale and the same tax system. It'll just happen again and again and again. When you decide that all you want from your people, doesn't matter if doctors, architects, us, you in the street, they want your taxes off you. Why? So they can make money off you. And what do you get in return? Not much, actually. You just look about in Glasgow. How many things can you afford? You might be able to afford the pictures. You might be able to afford some cans of beer to take into the house. What about that? But most people wouldn't. I remember they had hardly anyone's got 2 cars now, unless you're very lucky. Public transport's a mess. Unless you go on a busy route, you're fine. Mm-hmm. If you're not, you've had it. You need your car. And if your car's coming up to its very last MOT, there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah.
You haven't got the money. There's no infrastructure there for you to say, well, I want a scrappage to get a new car like they do in other countries. No. Once you've got your car, it's sink or swim. So that means your job, picking up kids from school, all the things that you'd relied on your car before in a rural area, bang. Yeah. That's a mess this country is, and it's going to get worse because let's make no mistake here, Kev. Boris Johnson is wanting to be Prime Minister for one reason, to look after his friends, his buddies from Eton. And they still think that they are a cut above the rest of us, intelligence-wise, etc., because they can get that step up to power. And remember, there's no constitution, which is another matter altogether. So when they get to that power of Prime Minister, they can do whatever they want, anything they want. And it's frightening.
Yeah,
it's frightening.
Absolutely. It's this whole Brexit thing is all to do with the Tory party and, and tax avoidance and all this, and it's ordinary people that are going to suffer for it.
Aye. Well, that was what we're going to do now, Kev. That was a bit heavy, was it?
Absolutely.
This time of day.
Play some nice jolly music.
No. What you know what I'll do? I'll just try and get this.
Listen in to IndyLive.radio, a new conversation for a new Scotland. Join the live chat at the website. Send text messages to 07507 248 856 or tweet hashtag IndyLive Radio. Come join us. Now is the time. It's our time.
IndyLive.radio. Now is a place where hope calls hope. Now gives its all. Now is the heart, the soul and the head. Now is the town you'll want to paint red. Now makes the future, now bangs the drum. Now is the welcome for all those who come. Now is silence and breathtaking sights. Now bucks the trend. Now fights for rights. Now is new jobs. Now inspires youth. Now faces up to an inconvenient truth. Now more than ever is what the world needs. Now is the hope that our country feeds. There is no waiting. Scotland is now.
Good morning from Norrie, just good morning, Gravity
Yes, welcome back to IndyLive.radio with myself, Norrie Hunter, through till 2 o'clock with my sidekick, Kevin Gibney. Kev, the branding plan to save the UK dismissed. We were referring to that earlier on. The First Minister's tweeted the fact that the UK government's response to risking support for independence is to consider a rebranding exercise only shows how limited their understanding or genuine interest really is.
So they're going to cover everything with Union Jacks and hope we'll change our mind, is it?
Well, here's the thing. My loaf of bread, well, not in the Hunter household, but the one we used to get is branded with a Union flag. Don't buy it. All the carrots, the turnips, whatever, with a Union flag, don't buy them.
Yeah,
Don't buy them.
The co-ops went on full Union Jack flags. There's so much stuff, as is, various other shops as well. So yeah, I mean the brandings, they've obviously thought all this out, and there've obviously been discussions
But it
at
hasn't
boardroom
worked.
level,
Yeah.
with ministers, right, or whomever, right, to
Exactly.
discuss. I think it's a good idea. If you want that title, if you want to be called Sir or Lord,
Yep.
you might want to consider this, right?
Or if you want advertising in the newspapers,
Yeah.
this is a better way to do it. We have ways and means of supporting you. Anyway, Liddington also told the Cabinet that recent surveys suggested people in England were becoming increasingly indifferent to the Union. A recent YouGov poll found 63% of the Tory party's membership would be happy for Scotland to become independent if it meant the UK could leave the EU.
Why doesn't England, right, or any other,
Well-
leave the UK?
Well, the thing is,
That'd be
because
easier.
I think English people are indifferent to it because they don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But see, the people in power, they know. Liddington said yesterday in the Commons on the Union, every part of the United Kingdom gains from the membership of each other member nation of the United Kingdom. So it's just a kind of nonsense, vacuous statement
Yeah.
that goes past austerity and no jobs and all the rest of it. That he just doesn't have a clue about. But he does know that there's new fields up in the Shetlands getting opened and developed.
Oh dear,
That's
yes, they
oil.
do know about that, don't they?
They do indeed. And then he said, the Scotland is now audios. He says this is a £1 million campaign by the Scottish Government to get people on side. Well, no, I think it's a message to all the people that come here. They're welcome. It's not to the Scottish people. And if you put a £1 million campaign into something positive, you might see the benefits of it as well, instead of your hostile environment campaign. Somebody's
Yeah.
got to combat that.
Absolutely.
Right. Kev, just got a message. This is from Maria. This is so wrong. SNP need to show more determination to protect the people who come to Scotland to make it their home. I think this is the Lisanne Zeitman, the cafe owner that was sent home. Why are we sitting back letting England tell Scotland what to do? Who can walk? What to do? Who can take here or not? Time we walk the walk and stop the talk. I think she's saying, why don't we just take control of this ourselves? Never mind a referendum. Just go for it now. Life's a risk.
No, everything's a risk. Staying in staying with the UK and getting pulled out of the EU is a risk. Everything's a risk.
Aye.
So but if all these countries have got control of their own destiny.
Aye.
Right. So why, can't we do that as well? It'll be down to us to decide how, we, change our own country and let it evolve, and it's be down to us.
Well, we'll get Azizi Top. Give me all your loving, and then we'll be back after this. Yes, indeed, more of that, more of that. Thanks, Dougie, for that beautiful, beautiful jingle. Right, we're getting messages in. First of all, Maria says, thanks for reading out my message. No problem, Maria. Anyone that wants to give us a message on Twitter or on my Twitter account, actually, that's okay. I'll just read them out from Kev, the Independence Live Twitter account, or my Hunter Norrie, at Hunter Norrie. Just send me some stuff there. And on the chat box. Rory's saying good morning. Ellie, good morning. Good morning. Gravity Waves, Paul, good morning. Jan, hi. They're all there, Kev. Now, some messages on the board. Paul says, Gravity Waves, Paul, even if you could, if you do qualify for a visa now, people would be wondering if it is worth risking coming to the UK, given that they could be chucked out later. Well, indeed, Kev.
Sorry, mate. I was listening to the radio stream there. Somebody said we had a bit of an echo, so I was just checking it.
Okay. Good point, Roy. Paul says, Ronnie, Willie2144, I have a wee question for you. If we are a union of 4 equals, then why do we need to ask permission for an Indy ref? Well, I think the answer to that, Willie, is that they would say all the powers are being given to the Westminster Parliament. So the powers lie there. That's their argument. That's what they're sticking by. Technically, Ronnie says, I don't think we do, but I think to gain recognition by other countries, it looks better. I think this story that is going to come out, Ronnie, what was it we said, Kev? The new commissioner, European commissioner that's taken over from Jean-Claude Juncker, what's her name? Ursula von der Leyen. Just remember that name because she was asked by Alan Smith, who's now the president of the European Free Alliance Group. He said, I'd like to invite you to Scotland to come and see our very pro-European sentiment. You'll be very welcomed by our very strong First Minister, who's a very strong pro-European lady. And she required, Mrs. von der Leyen responded, as I know, I'm a fan of hers. And as I have a child studying in the UK, I know firsthand how the debates are. So respect and good luck. Speaking afterwards, Smith described her comments as highly significant. When you have somebody in such a high power in the European Commission saying they like Nicola Sturgeon very much and they disagree with London politics very much, then you know what side is on our side. Don't we need a Section 30 or something from Westminster before we can go ahead with this one? Well, we do, Willie. That's part of the Scotland Act. We'll get back to that. We spoke to... put that in. Okay, we're just getting some more airtime, Kev. Your mic's on, by the way.
Okay, good. Right. Just checking.
I'm just reading through these messages. Don't we need a Section 30 or something from Westminster before we can go ahead with one? The truth is that that's what is written down in the Scotland Act, so that's law. But if they refuse a Section 30, as Angus Brendan was saying on the show on Wednesday, Kev, we can have a election, either a general election or a Scottish election, and the decision of that from the people will determine if we get a majority of SNP people or pro-independence people in, then bang, independence. Let's set it out because that's the only way we can measure it.
Yeah, and Thomas Shepherd was a bit more reserved about that one, wasn't he?
Well, so was Angus, to be honest, when he came on here. I did push him. I said, Angus, there's other people. He says, no, it's Plan B. It's right. Plan B. So what he said, look, exhaust every avenue and let the Scottish people know you've exhausted all those avenues. And then if it comes to the bit, general election, Scottish election, if there's a majority for any party that's pro-independence, that gives us the green light to strike out for independence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, there you go. We're getting more, Kev. Early. I think Hollywood are trying to do it all by the Westminster rules. Each time we're denied Indy ref, we're gaining more support from the EU and other countries. Exactly. So when the alternative plan comes into play, Scotland will have a lot more countries backing it. I just think that. We endorse that, Ellie. We just said that. And if we suddenly went for UDI, Holyrood could be called undemocratic, exactly. Well, that's the thing. If we leave after Brexit, we don't have the European Union to back us. That is the big danger.
It's a scary thing, isn't it?
That is the scary
That is
thing.
a
That's why I'm
worry.
saying, Kev, and I pushed Angus Brendan, why are we not going sooner rather than later? Sooner. Are all the cards not in our favour? Boris Johnson, if he gets into Premiership, well, the opinion polls go up for independence.
Yeah.
You know, we only need 51. But
Yeah.
it's looking at, and this Liddington, this Mundell will not release the polling, secret polling they've done.
That's right.
And he said, no, it's not in the national interest. Well, actually it is. Because,
That's bizarre.
and on Twitter, the Tories are trying to refute this by saying it's not 72%. Who said it was? Nobody said it was 72%. Where did that number come from then? And it's
Yeah.
come from the Tory side. They are absolutely frightened of losing Scotland.
Yeah.
And this is the time, my friends. This is the time.
Absolutely.
Ronnie R, we could declare UDI, I believe. We could, but UDI is a kind of a difficult thing because a lot of people say it's undemocratic. But if you go through all the democratic processes and you get nowhere, well, what are you left to but go undemocratic?
If it's in your mandate for an election, right, that if you get a majority, I think that Angus Neil was going on about, right, then and you win that mandate in an election, you get a pro-Indy majority, then, you know, maybe that's you. If you've reached the end, if you've tried everything else, that's when maybe you could be talking about UDI based on that.
Could
and
be.
that'd give you, you know, the I suppose the kind of moral backing that you've had an election based on your manifesto.
Well, if you're watching on the live stream here, very good morning to you. We can't put out music. Well, we're trying not to.
Not in the live stream. We can't put music out in the live stream because for copyright reason would get shut down. Although it's leaked through a couple of times, but we're looking to come up with some technological solutions to that.
Aye.
But
because human ones are just failing us.
yeah. So this, if you're watching in the live stream, I'm sorry if the audio disappears. That's just because we can't play live music. And when I remember, which I tried to, I put up a message saying music can't play. But I've forgotten a couple of times already because you get distracted with so many things.
You do indeed.
You know that you've got to kind of monitor.
Now, I don't know what's happened to our system here, Kev. I thought we'd go for a bit of music, but I don't think we're going to get music. It's going to.
Do I need to come over?
I think you do. I think we need to reboot.
Okay, I'm going to.
So I'll just keep talking.
You keep talking, and I'll put my mic off. Right.
Aye, I'll keep talking. We've got Miriam Brett actually has been on Twitter, and she's found out some statistics. I think it's from the Independent newspaper. The poorest 10% of workers would need to work more than 300 years to earn the same as the richest 10% do in just 1 year. I'll say that again. The poorest 10% of workers would need to work more than 300 years to earn the same as the richest 10% do in just 1 year. So far from trickle-down economics, wealth in our current system is surging upwards, making the mega-rich even richer. And there's another one here she's put in. 46% of UK's wealth is owned by just 10% of the population. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. I don't know why you can't put
Look,
on anything.
aye, there, look, I know. Yeah. Right, we'll do the break note. We'll get rid of this and see what happens. We're in early for the news. We're back. We're back. Champagne, how about us? Whew, that was close. The news is coming up after.
Short and sweet. No sense in dragging on past our need. Let's don't keep it hanging.
Welcome back to IndyLive Radio, 12 o'clock. Just heard the news there. We'll be covering some of the aspects of what was just said there. It's a nice day outside. The low pressure has moved away to let the high pressure through, and the sun is peering through Glasgow, the yes city. It's fantastic. We're going to carry on with a little mix and black magic back after this. Little Mix and Black Magic. Welcome back to Norrie Hunter and Kev Gibney through till 2 o'clock. Now, it's to the phones, I think. We're going to phone Eva Gerber. This is the cyclist. You may have heard. She's cycled from Germany all the way through to Scotland via a couple of countries in between. She's finally arrived, so we're going to give her a chat, see how she's getting on. Oh, I think we're through. Hello, Eva. You're through to IndyLive Radio. Welcome on board. How's the legs, first of all? Good. Yes.
I'm almost there.
Fantastic.
I have my Saltire flag with me.
Well, first of all,
Yes.
all at IndyLive Radio would like to thank you and congratulate you on a fantastic, successful trip. Well done, you. We're all really proud of you.
Yes.
Now,
Yes, me too, actually.
and how's
And
it?
I'm still like, am I made it? I'm really here? Okay, I made it. Great.
You made it okay. Don't worry about that. Now, what's the plans for today and for the next couple of days?
Yes. Tomorrow I will be in Lilydorf and
Li-
Sterling,
Uh-huh.
but it depends on the time. I will start at 12 p.m. like today,
Mm-hmm.
and meet you there at the central place. I have to find this place because I'm very strange here all around.
Okay.
So if people want to call me and ask me where I'm at, they are more than welcome to do so.
Now, you put a phone number on your Facebook page. We're quite hesitant to put phone numbers out when we don't get permission.
Right.
Do you want us to do that? Because we could do that for you if you want. But the only problem
Yes,
is...
please.
Okay, we'll do that, Kev. We're sitting here doing it. Now, you got into, was it Newcastle?
Excuse me, where?
From the ferry?
Yes, Newcastle. I arrived and Ian got there and catched me with his van. I was very thankful because I didn't know how bad the roads in Scotland really are.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess people couldn't tell me because most do drive cars. So I was very thankful that he came and picked me up.
Oh, that's good. That's very nice of him.
Yes, I appreciate it. And I'm allowed to stay with him in shots right now.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. So, the bike's in good nick, I take it?
Yes.
No punctures,
Yes.
no buckled wheels, nothing like that?
Excuse me?
You didn't get a wheel that was bent? Sometimes when you go on big cycle trips, you get a lot of damage to the bike, but your bike is okay?
Yes. My bike is fine. I had a repair and checkup done in Netherlands, where they have lots of good bike rides.
Of course, at the
But
Netherlands.
never mind, because Germany is bad too with some bike rides. And now, the bike is okay again, so I can use it. But probably I will be there on these places without the bike because real kind Robbie Gallagher picked me up with his car today, another all under one banner.
Oh.
And it was so great. He picked me up, yes, and drove me to where I want to go so I can meet my followers and fans and take time with them, which I think is important because if I take too much time on the bike, I can't meet nobody. That would not be any
No.
useful.
Now,
Yes.
now, Eva, I'm a cyclist as well, and I do long trips, and I always get a sore backside. How's your? Are you feeling it just now? Your backside?
The bike is safe, but I'm tired from the long ride also. So, and I'm not used to the way you all driving here in this short time.
Oh,
I'm still getting mixed up with our left-right driving.
Oh, typical Britain to be the odd one out in Europe to drive on the other side of the road. Not our fault.
Well,
It's crazy,
I know.
isn't it?
Well, the Bavarian TV was very much for the Scottish independence. I appreciated that very much, and I didn't expect them to give me so much time on the TV, but
Wow.
yes, I did. Yes.
Good for you.
Surprise.
No, it's great, and now we're finding that a lot of European politicians are treating Scotland with a bit more attention because of things like what you've just done, and because we are being very positive about immigration, etc.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so what we want to do now, Eva, is if you're ever in Glasgow, which I think you are next week, our studios are in Glasgow. We'd love to get you in for a chat and give you a nice cup of tea and chat about a lot of things European, if you'd be up for that.
Thank you. Yes, I'm happy to do that.
Fantastic.
Yes. I will be there at the BBC demonstration between 1 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I think I will have there maybe some friends meeting up.
Well, we just you to get in touch with our departments here, and we'll put you in, we'll schedule you in for a chat and a cup of tea and a discussion with you. How's that?
Thank you very much.
No, it'll be an absolute pleasure. And we just hope that your stay in Scotland is a good one, and you've certainly brought the weather. It's really nice in Glasgow today. It's been really bad for the last few days, but it's good now.
I know, but another thing I really want to say is I could and want to stay longer if I can find a way to support myself. I'm online social media marketing manager, and I'm looking for freelancer jobs.
Okay.
So if anybody hears something that could be useful, I would be very thankful to get the information.
Okay, we'll put that out. We'll try and put that out for you. You do realise that even today we reported that a family in part of Scotland had to leave Scotland because the Home Office told them they didn't have a proper visa to stay.
Yes, yes, I know.
It's,
but if I have some work, it's easier maybe because I can prove there is a need for me to stay, you know.
Well, the poor people who have left owned a cafe which was making money, employing people. It's just, honestly, it's really tough just now for people coming here.
Okay.
But don't let that put you off. Because
Thank you.
If we can get you something, we will try and put it your way.
Thank you.
So, just a massive well done. For people who don't know what you've just cycled, I think that we need to get a map up and show the route in kilometres, how many miles you actually cycled. It is amazing.
It is about 600 kilometers on Europe side. Yes. But like I said in the beginning in my first interview, I would also take care of my health, and that is what I did. So I did take the train in between because of bruises and so on and so on, sunburn.
Oh, yeah, that's allowed.
Challenges. So I didn't ride all the 600 kilometers, but most of it, yes.
Fantastic. But it doesn't matter. You got here anyway, you and your bike. So welcome, and good on you. From all IndyLive Radio,
Thank you very much.
Listen, and we hope to catch up with you when you come over to Glasgow.
Yes, we'll look forward. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Eva. We'll leave it there because we're going on to a bit of music. Thank you very much, Eva.
Yes.
Goodbye now.
Bye-bye.
There you go. That was Eva Gerber. Wow. Kev's frantically waving his hands at me. We're going to go into a bit of music and he's wanting me to press a button so it doesn't come out. This is the Blue Nile. Let's go out tonight.
Well done. Oh, I'm still on.
Rain Angel Annie has tweeted, I'm listening to IndyLive radio while I work. Would thoroughly recommend it. Good on you, gal. Hope to please. We're coming up to a bit of airtime so we can get a chance to talk. Once the sultry, moody Blue Nile are finished. Well, they are now. All right. Kev, you back on? Yes, indeed, yes. Oh, I like doing this. I'm scared.
Sorry. I was
Kev, before, we were talking. I was saying to you, shouldn't we have a launch of new badges come out? Not for IndyLive Radio, but just SMP badges, green badges, IndyLive 2 badges. Get them out there on the backs of cars, on people's lapels, on people's bags. Let's get the show moving, like 2014. Get it moving. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good idea. We need to get that organised and sorted.
It came after. I come on the train to work here, and I've got 2 badges on my rucksack, and they're Independence Live and IndyLive radio ones. So they're not really, they're not as obvious to people that don't know about what we do. But 2 people in the train today gave me the thumbs up, like the badges, and I thought, well, where's your badge? And then I thought, because there's no badges to give, we need to give badges out.
Yeah, well, I'll give a shout out to Jelly at Yes Rutherglen, because they've been providing us with a lot of badges.
Right, but if we can get badge machines are easy. Some of the Yes Hubs have got them. Yeah. Come on, Yes Hubs, get the badges made out and put on people's lapels. I think it's time to get a campaign to get badges out. Yeah, and posters on windows and wherever. You
don't see too many people going about with badges at the moment. I think there's a hesitance. I mean, this is Glasgow, there's an added edge doing it here.
Well, I don't know. Glasgow's a yes city, remember. Right, Kev, we'll put a wee bit more airtime in. Last time I put in, instead of putting a couple of minutes, I put 59.
Yeah, that's
which is, it puts a running order to pot. Hence, we had a wee bit of break in transmission. So it's all my fault. Guilty as charged. Well, I don't care. Kev, I didn't. At the interview with Eva, I don't think she realised what the backside was.
No, you totally threw her there. Backside, that was obviously not happening there.
Well, when I cycle, I get a sore derriere. I thought everybody did, but maybe not. Maybe
she couldn't understand you, really.
I know.
What's the backside?
I do not know. But anyway, we'll get once she comes in for an interview, we can ask her then. But then it'll all be
hopefully be sorted.
Aye, I know, that's the thing. That's the thing. Right.
But she's done a great job, hasn't she? I mean, getting TV coverage, she's raised.
But the thing is, as well,
the thing about Scottish independence again.
Bavarian TV, she was saying, has picked up on Scottish independence because of her. Yeah. Why are you wearing a Scottish flag? And she told them, you couldn't buy this, Kev, this promotion.
Fantastic.
And Liddington will be absolutely apoplectic when he finds out about this. Because, of course, he's the guy that's wanting to rebrand Scotland as North Britain. He's the only one that's wanting to do that. The rest of Scotland is...
do you know what? This has got nothing to do with branding and union flags, etc. This is just about who controls this country. At the moment, we're handing it over to Westminster, right? So do we want full control? Do we want to control all the aspects of life like a normal country? Or are we handing it over to someone else, right? Which we're doing at the moment, and that's 300 years worth.
Aye.
So, I think it's time we, be really good neighbours, of course, absolutely, but we'll take decisions that will matter most to the people that live and work in Scotland.
Aye, absolutely. And to show our European credentials in this studio, we're going to play something from France. This is Vichten Terre Rouge. Brilliant.
Nice one. Paddy Cram's going to be meeting Eva tomorrow for the podcast. Independence Live will try and cover that BBC demo for the weekend. Okay. Too many audio, is it worth putting through here?
Just get into, you've got the Great British Bake Off, and you've got, I don't know, Spitfires at every turn. Davy Lynn will be pumping out through the supermarkets before you know it. And I think people are just sort of getting sucked into this insidious subsuming of our brand. And I think that there are many reasons why it matters that we keep Scotland the brand. It's about our food security, it's about our market share, it's about our tourism. So when I lived in Malaysia, I was lucky enough to be friends with a gentleman who ran a very upmarket supermarket, and we became friends because it was actually over Orkney cheese, which is a PGI, by the way, and I had noticed that on his shelves there was Scotch beef and there was Scotch lamb and Orkney cheese, and I went, "Oh, can you get smoked cheese?" And he went, "Oh, but no, they did smoked cheese," and so we got chatting. And he said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Britain." And he said, "London." And I said, "Scotland." And he went, "Oh, Braveheart." And I went, and we got talking about Orkney cheese. And now this gentleman, and when I used to give my kids water, for example, I would buy. You don't want to be drinking water just out the streams of Malaysia, so I would buy reverse osmosis, big water cooler bottles of water, and they were about 12 ringgit. For a bottle of water. That's about £12, I guess. No, that's a lie. It was less. It was £4.50. I tell a lie. If I bought 2, then you could get... Anyway, so I would buy these big water coolers of water, and I always had several of them sitting in the house just in case. Now, to give you some context about the value of Scotland's brand, this gentleman who sells Scottish water, and he had a sign on his shelf, a wee litre of Scottish water, which was about 16 ringgit, which you're talking a big, there's a big difference. And beside his water, he had a sign up, Scottish water, filtered for 10,000 years by Scots granite. And that's the power of Scotland's brand. He had a bidder who would do the online bidding for the first line-caught salmon of the season. And he would clear all this amazing, to my eyes, exotic, beautiful fish off his shelves and clear it for the first salmon. He would have it flown out overnight to have it on his shelf.
There you are. Ruth Watson, Scotland the brand. A wee audio on produce, why it's so important. Very powerful. I'm sure Liddington, the Tory MP, would not like that. Tough, mate. We're playing it. It's our show. On the stage, did you realise, in 1834, one of Scotland's greatest plant collectors, David Douglas, died in a bull pit in Mount Keough volcano in Hawaii. The atmosphere there is commemorated by a cairn erected by fellow Scots from Hilo Burns Club who work in the sugar industry on the Scotch coast. So another Scotsman in Hawaii recognised. And do we know about him? Well, we do know now. And as Business for Scotland reports today, the UK has the worst pensions in the developed world and the highest pension age. Wonder why we're not in the list of happiest countries.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been saying this since day one, since we came on air. The old thing about, your pensions will be in danger in 2014. Your pensions are the lowest in Europe. Wake up. You're getting nothing. It's all going.
See, people are frightened to lose what they have.
Exactly. That's the thing, Kev.
Out with that, they don't know. Right,
Aye.
with BBC coverage and unionist mainstream media, especially the older generation, they're so used to,
absolutely
digesting all that information without, stuff that you've just read out. They don't know it.
They don't know. But if any of this rings a bell, tell your neighbour, tell your friends, tell anyone at work about what happens to their pensions and how you're going to have to work longer before you do get a pension. The waspy women will testify to that. Right, what have we got? Indie Pram Ray is looking forward to chatting to Eva tomorrow, taking the Indie Pram podcast to the BBC demo to get some chats recorded for broadcast on Monday at 10 a.m. Looking forward to that, Ray. Good luck for that, fella. Gravity Waves. Paul, I have the ESFY badge machine. What's ESFY?
I have no idea.
Oh, Paul, also I do, he's got designs too. 38mm badges only, though. And somebody's wanting us to talk about the spat between Lewis Capaldi and Noel Gallagher.
To be honest, I don't really know this young Scottish singer, but I did read about it.
He's good.
He's good. Well, he actually, was it Noel this time?
Aye.
Noel's usually the sensible one, and it was
No, he's just he's a muppet.
Yeah.
He's an absolute muppet, Kev.
It was pretty appalling what he said, to be honest.
Well, the thing is, we'll get rid of that. The thing is, Kev, that Lewis Capaldi replies brilliantly.
Yeah, he done it in good humour, didn't he?
He does it in good humour.
I think wound up your man.
And the thing
even
was,
more.
Noel Gallagher said Scotland's a third world country.
Imagine saying that.
And he's married to an Edinburgh lass.
I know, what a baby.
But hey, that makes no... Have you seen, I think, what is it, Love Island, they're calling it?
Yeah.
When she says, "Oh, Edinburgh's in Scotland. I didn't know that." I thought, you blooming... You gad. You muppet. Where else is it? Where else would you think it is? Oh, my goodness. Oh, dear me. I get angry. And you know this, I was listening to... I'll get more anger off my chest. I was listening to Radio 4 this morning. And did you know there's a women's volleyball tournament, World Cup coming up? And why don't they just name Radio 4 Radio England? Why don't they just do that?
Yeah.
Because they only spoke about the England volleyball team. And there's a Scottish team and a Northern Irish team playing as well. Not a mention. Not a thing, Kev.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. And we've just been... I don't know if you saw that. Is that coming out in...
No.
Nobody knocked?
No, but it's okay. We don't have a little light outside
I know.
that says... That's probably post coming in.
I know. So we're broadcasting. We're broadcasting out to the nation and beyond, by the way. And somebody walks in. Indie Pram Ray said, amazing. Even with Ginger Doug blog just wrote ES4Y, one of the most active in Scotland and unknown in the studio.
ESY.
English Scots for yes. English Scots for yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey!
Oh, God.
Jan,
ESY.
Jan, you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened.
Do you know what
Kev.
it is? It's
No, I'll tell
ESFY.
Yeah.
You're so used to seeing that.
I know.
ESY. I'm tired.
It's 4. You put
Sorry.
a 4 instead of an F.
Aye, yeah.
Well,
That's that. It's... sorry about that. Shameful.
Shameful on our part. We're getting a bit tired. Actually, Jan, could you get us another mug so we can go like that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're watching the live stream, but we've got cameras here. Because we don't know where the other one's gone. We've lost a few mugs. People come into our studio and think, oh, that's a nice mug, and go away with them. So we need mugs. We've got an East Ayrshire Yes one.
Yeah.
That's my favourite.
We've got all under one banner over there as well. Really nice mug.
Yeah, I've got a nice mug off them. So we need a new mug. If you've got one. Badges galore. We need them too. English Scots for yes. How could we forget, Kev?
Yeah, yes.
What
I
are
was
we?
thinking,
Oh,
I was thinking
man.
Disco Bride, yes.
That's what I'm thinking.
And
I thought European safe.
How
Wait, no,
could they?
European safe. No, what?
oh well, that's how
No,
it goes.
that's that bad
I
marks.
apologise.
We apologise profusely, Jan. Shocking. Anyway, we read out a wee bit about Lewis Capaldi.
Oh yeah.
The other thing is Transbit Festival's on today. If you're into festival music, the big concern there is that I heard was there's a very big lack of women performers, female performers. And it's the tired old pool of good acts that they tap into.
I've got no idea
Neither
about
have I.
this event. You know, it's
Nope.
a youngsters thing, isn't it? Really.
Well, there's a lot of old people going to it
Yeah.
with their kids.
All right. Good. How much does it cost?
I can't afford it.
That's a sticky point, isn't it?
I know, I can't afford it. Kev, it's time for Walloper of the Week.
Uh-huh.
And there's something coming through on, it's the Scottish Tories. They never give up on this.
Yeah.
Who was it? Kirsten Hare, again, stands up and talks about Scotland being a basket case and she's saying this to Theresa May, and of course Theresa May goes, yes indeed, and that's why we must stick together, etc. But how do they get away with their lies? Why is the BBC not doorstopping her?
Well, it's mainstream media. Well, broadcast is not devolved. It's BBC Scotland in name only, right? So, whoever pays the money, and it's all done via Westminster. So they will always be our enemy. It's a propaganda tool of the British state.
Well, here's an offer to Kirsten here. I'm sure she cannot refuse. There's a seat and 2 mics. You can come in at any time to discuss what you think is wrong with Scotland. I'd love to hear your views on broadband, because you still haven't worked out that it's a reserved matter. I'll get you and Richard Leonard in at the same time, actually.
I tell you, we could maybe send them an A4 bit of paper,
Aye.
right? Him and Richard Leonard, right? And
Aye.
they can look at it.
I love it, Ken. Oh, you've got Pedro started to a bit of paper.
Do you know what? They do know it's not devolved. They're not that stupid. But again, we don't have our own mainstream media. We don't have our own Scottish broadcaster. So, they get away with it.
Well, Kev, there's a thing that you mentioned, was mentioned on our news. It came from yesterday, but it's relevant. And the National carried it on their papers yesterday. This is Richard Leonard. Labour are still in bed with the Tories.
Oh, yeah.
Still?
Various councils in Scotland.
Aye. And he's come out and said, I think, yesterday's paper, today we expose Scotland's Better Together councils. There's one at East Lothian. When Labour says jump, the Tories say how high. So when is a council coalition not a coalition? When it's not written down would appear the answer. They're working in cahoots just to keep the SNP out. Even if the SNP have got good plans.
You think more aligned with Labour.
Yep.
They'd rather have, austerity Tory party.
Aye. SNP group leader Stuart Curry told the National Brian Small had been the Tory group leader at first in 2017, and he said there was going to be a de facto coalition ongoing between Labour and the Tories. Our view is simple. When Labour says jump, the Tories shoot how high. It's not for me to say, but I stay in South Lanarkshire, SNP run, and North Lanarkshire, which is Tory and Labour. Don't ask me how that happened, but it just did.
Yeah.
And every day the roads are getting fixed in South Lanarkshire. We've got a steering group to see how Hamilton can be developed. We're trying to get better bus routes. There's a lot going on. Jobs fairs by the local MP and MSP working together. Lots of good things. See North Lanarkshire, up Belsill, Airdrie. It's like time stood still. Absolutely no money going into the infrastructure. That's what you get when you get Tories and Labour working together. So
they're so used to being in power and always being, we don't need to do much to change much. So,
I know.
The pressure to change isn't there.
So, Kirsten Hare, getting back to her, you are going in for my Walloper of the Week. You still don't know what Scotland is and how it is for a lot of people. And the thing about her, when she said to Theresa May about the health service in Scotland being neglected because Nicola's fixation on independence, what a load of garbage, man. Just
lying.
But she's playing to a gallery, Kev.
She's playing to a gallery.
So let's. Here's the thing,
Maybe
Kirsten.
she believes it as well. Who knows?
No, here's the challenge, Kirsten. Say that to people who are not in your gallery, either not at a Tory party leadership contest or in the House of Commons. Come here to IndyLive Radio and sit down. We'll make you a nice cup of tea. It'll be an Independence Live mug, actually, you'll get. Or you can bring in your own Conservative one. We don't care. But I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you, gal. If you're up for it, get in touch with our producer, Kev, or our researchers, Val and Marlon. We'll be trying our best to get in touch with you. And we won't mention how many times you won Walloper of the Week. That'll be water under the bridge, honestly. We'll move on from there. If you want to come in and speak to us, you're more than welcome. Right, bit of country music, Kev. I know you love it. This is
joy.
This is Kev. I've got. Before I go to this, there's a new company in Glasgow. They're for goths only. They're a plumbing outfit. They're called the Cisterns of Mercy.
Oh, well.
And you've got to be.
I like it.
The Cisterns of Mercy, and they'll fix your gothic toilet for you. And apparently they come in black clothes and black mascara and stuff. So they're called the Cisterns of Mercy.
Oh, we need to get them in.
Aye, we'll need to get them in. I think it's coffee time, but we'll take a wee break and we'll go to Brad Paisley's Mud on the Tires. They're all playing this in Nashville. Brilliant stuff. Love it. Well, that was good, wasn't it? Brad Paisley, Mud on the Tires, we put a country. Right. Jan G. She says, we don't have any left. This is the mugs, Kev. We don't have any left. What is she saying? We got a delivery before, all under one banner, Glasgow, and they've all gone. Never mind. And X-Stick says to her, he's laughing his head off. He says, you can't get the staff these days. You can make it up by you can make it up to be by playing the show promo. That's a bit of a. Can you read that, Kev, instead of me?
Where's that?
I'm getting my tongue twisted.
On the
You can
chat box.
You can make it up
I
to
don't have my
be
specs with me.
by playing the show promo. Okay, I've got a promo for the English Scottish or yes. We do. Aye, we do. Somewhere. I'll try and find it.
See if you can find it.
Ellie's come back. Kirsten here is my MP. She's so embarrassing. Indeed she is, Ellie. She is a nightmare. She'll not get back if there's a general election. She will not be taken back in. Who else is getting back? Mike Fennick. How to really protest the BBC. Late Gordon Wilson, SNP MP. He was controller of the political pirate radio station Radio Free Scotland, which broadcast a frequency used by BBC between 1956 and 65, moving the location of the transmitter to avoid being caught.
Oh dear.
Technology's moved on, Mike, but whoa, that was good of them back in the day. Back in the day, they were a bit good fellas, weren't they?
Oh aye.
English Scots for yes, Jan G. Okay, that's work finished for the day. Still listening on the app, but won't be in the chat. Take care, everyone. I'll catch you all later.
Bye, Jan.
Bye, Jan. Well, that's a lot to get mentioned. I think this podcast, this live stream, Kev, is getting us more people interested.
Yeah, it's good, and again, I'm not fully sorted with everything. I've just got a little gizmo. Just hold that up. Folks, if you're watching in the live stream, right, you might have noticed me with multiple. I've got 3 headsets at the moment, right?
Is this Raspberry Pi?
No, this is a little gizmo that I can plug multiple inputs into and only have one headphone, right? So I'm looking forward to testing that. So the next time I'm during full chat mode or whatever, I'm going to start plugging stuff in and giving it a test.
Oh no!
Small things like these,
Yeah.
that help things. That's for sure.
Kev, perhaps we can both do this. Jan G said, please give a shout out for the English Scots for Yes show tonight at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Yes, we will. It's on IndyLive Radio, 7 o'clock to 9 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do.
Tune in for that.
Tune in for that tonight. Surely there can't be any more interesting on than that. Indy Pram Ray, sorry, Mike, far easier to be caught now. The days of DFing with an antenna or two are long gone. Now it's multiple SDR spectrum receivers at remote locations that will establish a transmitting site in milliseconds. Did you get all that?
Wow.
Aye. That's posted up for a reason, Ray. In part, this formed Peter Bell today. Scotland's independence cannot be restored while adhering to the laws, rules and procedures which have been put in place to protect and preserve the Union. Another is that there is no route to independence which does not pass through a point where there is direct and acrimonious confrontation with the British state. Well, probably what we've been saying in the first part of the show, Kev. What the alternatives to general elections, what are the alternatives to referendums. It's going to get messy. It could get messy.
It certainly is. It's very interesting.
Well, what we've got loads of notifications on Twitter and on the chat box. But it's Walloper of the Week we're after just now. Kirsten here was from me. I can't remember we should write these down.
And she'll do for me as well, actually.
David Mundell, he's in there as well because he's been asked to reveal the findings of this secret poll the Tories did on views on Scottish independence and referendums, and he's not letting go. Why is he not letting go? You muppet. Because it goes against every new state. That's why you're not letting go of it.
But can we give a special award for Noel Gallagher for what he said?
Oh, we could, aye. A non-politician.
A special music award. For being
you'll get the Walloper of the Week award.
Really?
Aye.
Okay, we might as well, right?
So here it is, folks.
Right.
It's Kirsten Hare, David Mundell, or Noel Gallagher. Who would you put in Room 101 or give the Walloper of the Week award to? Now, it's an empty cardboard box this week. It's stinking because there was an old fish supper in it when we bought it. So that's a prize to the Walloper of the Week. Who should it be? Kirsten Hare, Noel Gallagher, or David Mundell? Let us know on the chat box on IndyLive.radio webpage. Just scroll down your guess. The choice is yours. We'll be waiting for the results. Kev, anything else to put on?
No, I'm just quite excited about this old
Oh,
device I've got in my hand.
We've lost him for the rest of the day.
It's yeah, I'm down to give it a go.
Well,
Sorry.
have you ever heard, Kev? I'm going to play something I downloaded.
Ah.
This is just, I love this, the way they put a slant on the tunes they play. This is Pomplamoose.
Oh, right.
No, you've never heard them. I stumbled. Somebody gave me a message and says, "No, you got to try out Pomplamoose." And this is a tune called Bulletproof, was a hit for somebody else, but they're doing it. And see what you think of this.
Alrighty.
I'll put now. What I'm going to do, Kev, I'm going to put the off.
Yeah, that's right. You can't put music through the live stream.
Can you do that? We've been
Don't get it wrong.
Don't
I've
get
done
it wrong.
about a few times already.
I know. So here's Pomplamoose, Bulletproof. Whoa, Pomplamoose, Bulletproof, cover of somebody else's song. I can't remember who exactly, but never mind. I like that. Now, as I said earlier, David Pratt has written a piece about how a failed state emerges out of a steady state and then becomes a failed state. And he's saying, alongside diplomats and aid workers, foreign correspondents, among others, I know a thing or two about failed states. Most of us have worked often enough in such places and watched people there struggle against the odds to recognise the all too familiar signs. Some countries fail spectacularly, of course, with a total collapse of state institutions. Think of Afghanistan after the Soviet withdrawal of Somalia and Sierra Leone in Africa. But he's talking about Britain. It's often measured, there's no definition of what a failed state is, but it's often measured by the behaviour of ruling elites, Boris Johnson, etc., social divisions, economic inequality, immigration, state legitimacy, public services, human rights, and the rule of law. In other words, a failed state is composed of feeble and flawed institutions, which brings me to the UK. So, all those things that he's just mentioned, ruling elites, social divisions, are happening right now in the UK, and that's the prime ingredients for a failed state. The Tory leadership election, as it brews, the article cited recently research at Queen Mary University of London, highlighting how the Tory membership lives predominantly in the southwest, southeast and east of England. It's overwhelmingly white, 99% male, 70%, with 86% categorised as ABC ones with more education, better paid jobs, and 72% are aged over 45. In other words, as the article says, the UK's future is in the hands of the gerontocracy that is barely represented in the north of England or Wales, has a minimal presence in Scotland, has almost no working class base, and is insulated from deprivation. That's quite a thought. And I couldn't agree more with the writer that any country electing its leader in this way would most likely be deemed a failed state. So what do you think? Is Britain a failed state? Is it on the brink of it being a failed state? With all these ingredients, the UK government's got a "I'm all right, Jack" attitude, and is constantly being underscored by a reality that's out there for lots of us that it's not all right for us. So more and more UK citizens no longer believe that the government is really legitimate. Yet another characteristic of a country on the road to failing. This is, 10 years ago you wouldn't think this was Britain, but now you would. What with Brexit and the way the Tory party is imploding, and the way it's having to readjust to the right-wing rhetoric of the Brexit party. While Venezuela and Brazil tied for the undesirable first place, the others 5 most undesirable countries. Well, we've just come to the news, so we'll go over that, and I'll get back to this after.
IndyLive.radio, Scotland's online independent radio station. Scotland's news, through Scotland's eyes. News headlines from the National. Scotland's Better Together councils, Labour still in bed with Tories. Next, Tommy Robinson handed 9-month jail term for contempt of court. Next, revealed, Scottish MPs have been watched by Spanish spies. World news. 4 corners, more than 20 have died amid ongoing tribal violence in Papua New Guinea. Next, First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, Tories forced out US Ambassador Kim Darroch. Also from the National. Mundell put under pressure by SNP to release secret independence poll. Next, hardcore unionist tells James O'Brien from LBC call in why he'd back yes. Next, new EU leader says she is a fan of First Minister Nicola Sturgeon. Next, declaration of Arbroath to go on public display from next year. In other news, IndyLive Radio are looking for guests either at our studio in Glasgow or telephone interviews for Yes Group Friday. Please get in contact with them via Twitter or website IndyLive.radio. Next, great music, news and interviews on IndyLive Radio, so please tell your family and friends to tune in. iOS and Android apps available. Thank you for listening, we will be back again later. Peace, love and Scottish independence. Now is the time. Bye for now.
Listen in to IndyLive.radio, a new conversation for a new Scotland. Join the live chat at the website. Send text messages to 07507 248 856 or tweet hashtag IndyLiveRadio. Come join us. Now is the time. It's our time.
IndyLive.radio.
Back in 1980-something, Tears for Fears wanted you to run the world. These days, we'd like you to focus your energy on something slightly more achievable, like the Hamilton 10K on Saturday the 21st of September. Run for charity, run for fitness, run for fun. But register now by logging on to entrycentral.com and searching for Hamilton. That's entrycentral.com and search for Hamilton. There's heart in Hamilton.
Welcome back. I'll carry on with that piece I was doing for being so rudely interrupted by the news, but here's Taking Blue, The Believers.
Go on ahead.
Taking Blue, The Believers, probably one of my favourite tracks they've ever put out. Good stuff. Right, welcome back. Kev's back. He was away getting the coffee. That's why I probably ran out of time on my allocation of airtime, and the news caught up with me because I didn't have Kev in my ear telling me what's happening as we go along. What I was talking about, Kev, was this piece in the National, superb piece of writing by David Pratt. He's saying, gripped by Brexit and dysfunctional, the UK is nearing failed state status. Now, what I was saying was, where there's no internationally agreed upon definition of what is a failed state, it usually means they can no longer perform basic functions such as security and governance. It goes on, it's often measured too by the behaviour of ruling elites, social divisions, economic inequality, emigration, state legitimacy, public services, human rights and the rule of law. In other words, a failed state is composed of feeble and flawed institutions, which brings them to the UK.
Well, yeah, I mean...
You've got the ingredients here, Kev.
Absolutely. Blaming immigrants
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely up there. You blame immigrants for the problems that are happening in the state, but you know, these are self-inflicted with the EU and the Tories. Their austerity that's been happening since the banking crisis. Their friends in the banking sector, creating all that chaos. So you know, that's what you do. You blame immigrants.
Well, you
know,
do. But sorry, Kev. I'll just go into the other parts of this. You know, economic inequality. That's another factor.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's the biggest gap between the richest and poor in this country ever.
Yeah.
So that's another one. You've got immigration, which you've said, state legitimacy. So you're thinking part of the country wants to cede away from another country, and you're going, no, they can't do it, not in our terms. So the legitimacy is state legitimacy is in tatters. Human rights. You've just seen people being put out because they don't have a visa. You've got people lined up for benefits and they don't get them because they're fit to work. This is a breach of their human rights. And the rule of law, well, you know, highest the laws in England where it's most of this is happening, knife crimes at an all-time high. In Scotland, we've done something about it, of course. But crime is on the rise, and they're taking. There's not enough police on the beat, etc. So he's saying that's one of them. Then the next one, Kev, the Tory leadership election. These are some facts. Most of the Tory membership lives predominantly in the southwest, southeast, and east of England. It is overwhelmingly white, 99%, male, 70%, with 86% categorised as ABC ones. That's with more education and better paid jobs, that kind of thing. And 72% aged over 45. In other words, as the article's writer Riley observes, the UK's future is in the hands of the gerontocracy that is barely represented in the north of England or Wales and has minimal presence in Scotland, has almost no working class base and is insulated from deprivation.
Oh, absolutely.
So
you also reminded me. I think it was a comment. Amber Rudd and Boris Johnson. Now she's kind of, kissing Boris Johnson's butt. You know, jobs coming up and all that. He's most likely going to be our next prime minister, and they're talking about bigger tax cuts to make that gap even bigger between those that have, which is a small minority, and those who don't. Right, so, that's not going to help matters much. And you've got your man, what's his name, down in London, going to jail.
Oh, Tommy
Robertson, or whatever his real name is. And
Yaxley Lennon.
Yeah, that's it. And he, his, journalist, he had a big thing across his chest about
journalism in the dock or something.
Or jailing journalists or whatever it was. It certainly has. You get that feeling that it's a failed state. It's a state that's having a nervous breakdown. I think I read that somewhere as well.
Well, indeed, it makes clear too, this report, that these leadership failures are going on in more privileged environments like the UK suggests a greater degree of failure. So much of UK politics right now is inhabited by a sense of arrogance and superiority, and nowhere more so in the Tory government's own ranks. The fact that their inept and inadequate performance is increasingly akin to the flaws and feebleness of failed states is no coincidence. This is no longer the Great Britain they imagine it to be. Instead, it's a failing state lashing out with the last deluded and toxic kicks of a bygone notion of empire. Here in Scotland, we must ensure that none of those responsible for such recklessness are sent packing and pay a heavy political price. What could you not disagree with that?
Yeah, exactly.
If you do disagree with that, get in touch. Usual channels, IndyLive.radio. Get in touch through the chat box.
The chat box, we're also on Twitter as well. You get Norrie on Twitter, and you've got IndyLive on Twitter.
At Hunter Norrie, get me there. Independence Live, or you can get the number, which we kind of don't look at.
Which is, I can see it above your head, but because I don't have my specs, I can't actually read it.
07507 248 856.
Yeah, well done.
That's the number. Right. So, any thoughts on that? Give us your opinions. Right, Kev. The chat box is just getting mad. What's happening here today? Oh, blimey. Willie says, which one? We asked him Walloper of the Week. Unfortunately, Willie, we can only select one. But Willie's saying all of them.
Well, that's fair
They
enough.
all deserve the award. Ellie's agreeing. Could send it to Kirsty with an official invite to the studio. We've asked her, Ellie, we've asked her to come in or send an invite to collect it personally. I think she should just marry me, Ellie. I could recondition her. Willie's wanting to marry Kirsten here. Are you mad? Are you crazy? Oof. I know my neighbour voted for her and Well, wait a minute here. Wait, Kev, what's happening here?
You've...
that was loud, wasn't it? We can't do that because it's going out to...
the live stream.
Yeah, so we don't
make
do
sure that button's off.
Aye. I'm just reading these tweets. No, they're not twits or tweets. What are they? Just messages.
Messages in the chat box.
You should be reading these, producer.
I'm just trying to get it up so that I can actually read it, because there's another computer to my left. It's just that bit too far away
I've
from
got to do everything here, folks. It's unbelievable.
Give me a sec. Okay, I've got it.
I'd love to see the statistics of voters for her. It'll be most of them were men. Or she says, I'll bet it will be most of them were men. I know my neighbour voted for her, and her reasons are not reputable in public, but it wasn't for her abilities to actually do the job. Triplets, Mike says, put them all in. And that's there's who's the Walloper of the Week, Kev? That's what we want to know.
It's always a tough contest, this, really, isn't it?
I know.
Always so many up for it, really.
What we'll have to do is we'll have to choose ourselves.
Yeah.
So Kirsten here is the front runner on the chat box front. On Twitter, I'll just check my Twitter.
Well, that's a good choice, really, isn't it?
Mandel for hiding the facts.
Another mention.
Eddie, Isaac, who else? Steve, who else? Jock, Gary, Eleni. She's saying no Gallagher can insult Lewis Capaldi as much as he wants, but Lewis will always get the last laugh. Indeed.
Yeah, he seems to have having a jolly good time winding up. No.
Keith saying David Mundell. Wow. George is saying... no, I can't read that out. No, it's too rude. Get bucket barred off air. But he's no Gallagher, he's suggesting, for certain reasons.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, Kev, it's up to the listeners.
Absolutely.
Get in touch. Now, that was... I was trying to get some music lined up, and of course, we have to press the music down because we can't play it on the live stream because we get done for that. So I had to press it off because we're still on live stream.
It's tricky.
Bang!
I'm trying to work on a little system that can sort that out, but it involves technical stuff, and talk to Linda.
Yeah.
See if she can help us out with that as well from
Indeed.
Broadcast Scotland.
Because it's not easy. I've got to put the mics off, and people really get annoyed if I put the mics on and speak over and forget to put them off, and likewise put them off and I'm speaking, they're not on. So what we do, and then we've got another button to press to make sure the music's not going out to the live stream. I'm not saying it's difficult, but for my wee brain, it's huge. Now, I'm going to press the button down because we've got this. Like, it's going to come in a second or two.
Just
Welcome back. Me and Kev are having a conflab about what to do with this technology. Who is that? That was Sister Sledge, Lost in Music. And Kev says we've got a message through. It's to do with it's the end of an era as remaining 70 jobs at the former Phillips factory are to be axed. This is my hometown of Hamilton. It's been on the way down for a while, Kev. The building has been dilapidated. It used to be lighting, Philips lighting with halogen bulbs and stuff, and for cars, lights. But now everything's LED, and technology's just moved on, I'm afraid.
So they've not actually invested in it to bring it up to new technology?
No, and the building's not fit for purpose either nowadays. But it will be, 70-odd jobs.
It's still a tough one.
It's still a tough one.
Hamilton to take.
It is. But you know what? We've got a fantastic MSP who will be putting round. We're looking to get the Scottish Government involved to see if there's a task force that could be put in place to help them get the jobs re-employed somewhere else. But what I don't know in the rest of Scotland, but Angela Crawley MP and Christina McKelvey MSP have done 4 jobs fairs in Carluke, Hamilton, and somewhere else, 2 in Hamilton, 2 in Carluke. And they're brilliant. They're stowed out, and people always end up getting some kind of work from them. So I'm sure those 70 people, although it's always sad to lose your job, hopefully the corner will be turned soon and you'll get another job.
No, absolutely.
That's bad news. Just coming in. So that's Phillips factory in Hamilton. Wow.
Sad news that, but hopefully all those who have lost their job can try and get something else in the area.
I know. Well, it looks like, Kev, Kirsten here is romping it for the Walloper of the Week. On my Twitter feed anyway. She is nothing but a... no, I can't read that. Let's see. Nope. Lewis, nope, another one is... this is Do McKay. He's saying it's got to be Noel Gallagher. Ranald says nope, it's got to be Mundell. So takes your pick. Who is it? Walloper of the Week. Friday 12th of July. Who gets it? Gallagher, Mundell or Kirsten Hare? Who deserves it more? You tell us. Right, here's Sixpence None the Richer, Kiss Me. Not literally, that's just a song. Here it goes, and I'll be back with Kev after this. I hope. Where are they?
Have you lost them again?
No. It's like waiting for a bus. Here they go. how good is that? Sixpence none the richer. Kiss me. Just what you need on a sunny afternoon in Glasgow. Isn't it, Kev?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
Kev, I didn't realise one of the letters in the National today is, and could I also put in a plea that is it a time that the SNP sent out a car sticker to each of its 100,000 members and asked them to start wearing an SNP membership badge as we used to do in the 70s? Well, we're not saying it earlier.
Yeah, you could do that, but also what about just an independence badge? I don't know.
Well, any badge.
Yeah.
For just to show people that you're not alone, and they're not alone. Now, breaking news. It's come to our attention that Wallop of the Week has been such a success, but people are wanting to add more names to the list. The next one is Oliver Mundell, who has said Boris Johnson will save the Union as Prime Minister. He said that, Kev. He just said that. He said, for nationalists, this is just manna from heaven. Mundell, Boris Farage, they're all SNP double agents. Keep the nuttiness coming, guys. You all talk so much bull that we'll build statues to you in years to come for paving the way to independence. Keep up the good work. Hey!
Yeah, absolutely.
We like that. Thankfully, Boris will guarantee both a Labour government and Scottish independence. I'm not sure about the first part of that. A lot of people get annoyed at Theresa May saying this once in a generation was an SNP promise. It wasn't, was it?
No.
And she keeps coming out with that as if it's... And it's like, how many times do I have to say this and it'll become true? I'm sorry, but if it's a lie, it'll never be true. So, and you know what? The other thing, Kev, if you're caught telling lies in the mother of all parliaments, shouldn't you be brought to book on that? Excuse me, the Speaker should be saying to them, excuse me, that is a lie. Retract that, please. Where did you see this written down? Where have you seen it being said? Who said it? In what context? Sorry, that's a lie.
Well, you get away with that, don't you? If you're a politician.
But you shouldn't. You shouldn't. This is lies. You know, going in the House of Commons, House of Parliament, and saying, isn't the SNP slow to start broadband connections in the Highlands? When it's, it's a reserved matter.
Yeah, that.
You know, why? Yeah, I said we will call them out. We will call them out.
Exactly. Where's the media mentioning this?
Really annoys me. Aberdeen not getting shown on the telly last night, and this stuff from politicians.
Yeah.
Really, really, really annoys me. So much so that I don't know. Fancy a beer after this, Kev. It can get your temperature can get high. It's not the weather.
It certainly winds you up, doesn't it?
It does. It does indeed. So, I think we'll just keep Oliver Mundell out of this. His dad's. That's enough from one family in our Walloper of the Week competition. Yeah. David Mundell, Noel Gallagher, or who's the last one? Kirsten Hare. I don't know. We'll have to count them up. Probably not long to count them up. Half an hour. But I don't know. I don't know who's in the lead.
Can I give a little shout out?
Aye, of course.
It's Rain. That's a hard one to say. Rainy Angel Annie.
I said it. I said that one.
Did you?
Aye.
You done that one. And
Yep.
so,
do it again, though. Do it again.
Hi, Rainy Angel Annie, who's listening in the radio, and Newborough Gaufer. And there's someone else that's listening in at the moment. So I'm just picking them up from Twitter.
Aye.
I shouldn't be looking at Twitter. See, when I start scanning the Twitter, I lose track of what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I apologise.
In Westminster, they're not allowed to call anyone else a liar, Ellie. Once in a generation, biggest lie ever. Can't believe that it's lasted so long. It was never a vow, never on a poster, never on a mandate. It was a throwaway, informal comment by Salmon. Exactly, Norrie. Exactly.
And how could any one politician dictate what Scotland does or doesn't? Anyway, he can't. Salmon couldn't talk for that. Anyway, it was taken out of context.
I know, but. Where was it? Once a generation, Gravity Waves, Paul. In that case, there wouldn't be many MPs left in the Parliament if they're all thrown out for
Well,
life.
this is true.
That's true, yeah, that's a good point, actually. When was policy ever based on informal, inviolate, unchangeable, informal comments? Well, give us half an hour on that. And not even taking into consideration all the broken promises of the vow, indeed, which were written down but never mentioned, and the fact that the whole game has now changed with evil, English votes, English laws, and Brexit. Well said, Ronnie. Good point, good point. Right, Kev, what we're doing, you two are up next New Year's Day, but you know
Love that song.
Yeah, but you know what we've not got? We haven't thanked Dougie Bendel.
Oh, Dougie for another brilliant jingle.
To hear the cool one, I'm going to get it. Oh no, it's away in the ether. I can't find it. I'll try and get it.
Stick on the YouTube and we'll try and find it.
It's called Norrie Cool.
Is it?
Aye, it's there it is. Just after this, you will hear it. This is Dougie Bendel being cool on my behalf. We'll just play it now, Kev. We'll just get rid of this and play it. Music and banter. That's me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Diggy. Oh yeah, mate. You too. New Year's Day. There you go. That's Ross Ainsley and Ali Hutton, Symbiosis 2. Scotland's got so much talent. Listen to this. Playing live in somebody's kitchen, I think. But what a set of tunes. Great stuff. Before that was Nancy Griffiths from a distance. Just something to calm his Odin with. Right, the results of Walper of the week. It looks like Noel Gallagher has got it, and I just got a message, a couple of messages actually to put out. If you're coming into Glasgow, well, no, I'll do the Noel Gallagher one. He's been he's been struck off the Iron Brew adverts. He apparently was going to be featured on them, and now Iron Brew says, what we said to Lewis Capaldi, Iron Brew cancelled Noel Gallagher after he branded Scotland a third world country. And don't forget, folks, if you're coming to Glasgow, it's the Transmit Festival in Glasgow Green. Thousands and thousands of teenagers are hitting the railway stations. Argyll Street and Central Station are mobbed. So be careful. If you want a train, get there early or expect big, huge crowds. They're all going to Glasgow Green. They're getting off at Central Station and Argyll Street. So there you go. That's the two updates. Oh. Let's see. Ryanair, they're pulling out of Glasgow. Well, Glasgow Prestwick, I think they operate out of. Citing, excuse me, citing the Brexit plans, 300 jobs to go. If you didn't think Brexit was kicking in, it sure is. That's 300 jobs to go at Prestwick. Ryanair pulling out. Somebody else got in touch. This is I can't remember when we'd done this feature on the show. It was about just the arithmetic of Westminster Parliament. She says, with 533 English MPs, 40 Welsh, 59 Scottish and 18 Northern Ireland, how do you think that's going to work out for equality? Now, England will get 533 and the rest get 117. Oh, she says, it is an English Parliament. This is in reference to Boris Johnson saying, well, we have an English Parliament. It's Westminster. Well, of course you have, because the arithmetic tells us that. So that was Davina getting in touch with the show to tell us about that. I can't remember when we did that broadcast about, maybe last week sometime, but better late than never. So give you a mention, Davina. Yep, Miriam Brett, we're getting plenty of messages. The poorest 10% of workers would need to work more than 300 years to earn the same as the richest 10%. Do in just 1 year. That is staggering statistics. That's from the Independent. The office chat. Let's see. There's loads here. Kev will have to help me out. Do the messages on the board, Kev. There's so many. This is a busy old day for us. Aye, it's good. Sorry, Kev. It is good. It's very good. We just need people in to help us deal with all this stuff.
It's a bit tricky, isn't it, when you're doing all the mixing desk and the live streaming at the same time. It makes it a bit complicated. It
does. Ellie's just saying she's just thought about the comment by Oliver Mundell and Boris saving the union. The ambassador incident has caused all trade negotiations between the UK and USA. This is the Darich, the ambassador to the US from the UK. Kev, he just called Donald Trump something quite not that. I wouldn't have thought that bad. And when Trump says something, you say, "Well, that's outrageous." That's all he said.
Well, it's diplomatic.
I know.
Correspondence that should have been kept.
Should his
quiet,
his thoughts and things be kept quiet?
Well, it should be. It was leaked, right?
And here's the thing.
And they're paid to give an honest opinion, and he gave that opinion. That's what they're wanting our diplomats to do in this case.
No, Kev. He's getting shifted because you know who retweeted after that? As soon as it came out, Nigel Farage says we should have a non-Remainer in post as an ambassador to the US. I wonder who Nigel was thinking of when he said that.
Yeah, he's maybe himself.
Maybe. I'm not saying that's true, but why would he say that? So this is a whole bag. It's a mess. This is just a mess. The diplomat getting sacked.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is all going to be possibly the biggest trade deal that was planned, probably. But Boris gets to number 10 and we will face a no confidence vote. That could happen.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
that
quite a
could
lot of Tories that aren't particularly happy with him. So, I mean, it's a distinct possibility we could, if he gets elected, right, we could get another election.
Yeah, I'm
General
sure.
election.
Ronnie says Boris will be the demise of the UK, not the saviour.
Yeah.
But what if he's managed to get the trade talks with the USA back on track? Wait a minute, Kev. I don't think so. I
definitely don't think so.
He'd regain confidence with the Tories as well as any pro-Brexit Labour. Well, that's true. But how many pro-Brexit people are in Labour? Quite a few, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. He'd likely survive a no-confidence vote and thus negate any need for a GE, which scuppers Nicola's Plan B. I don't know.
I mean, Hunt's is bad. At least we forget, right? Hunt isn't brilliant.
Oh yeah, we know.
Choice for Scotland either.
Aye.
So, but Boris Johnson's out there though.
Well, we've come to the decision on Walloper of the Week, Kev.
Yeah.
And the Walloper of the Week is Noel Gallagher. By a good few.
What a shocker that is, isn't
And
it?
the thing is, on Twitter, my Twitter, listen, I can't read half of them out because of the language, but a lot of you are Capaldi fans, Lewis Capaldi fans. We know that, we get that. So we've just said we've awarded the Walloper of the Week to Noel Gallagher. You absolute muppet. There you go.
I mean,
give me that, you muppet. How dare you call us a third world country?
His wife been for Edinburgh.
I know, she's married, I know. But that makes no odds, Kev. The Love Island woman thought Edinburgh was part of Scotland.
Yeah.
Couldn't you believe it was part of Scotland? The Muppets playing for you, honey. The Muppets are playing right for you.
I think you need to drink your coffee.
I do. What have you put in my coffee, Kev?
I think that might be the decaf you've got. That's made you worse.
That's made me worse. Blimey. Holy moly. Thank goodness. What we've got? 13:54. We've got 10 minutes left of the week's shows. Don't worry, we're back on Monday. I'll be back on Monday. But beware, I won't be here next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, yeah.
Or next Friday. Excuses, coughing.
Why don't you have a little cough away from the mic and I'll keep going. So also there's a BBC bias demo on this. I think it's this weekend. I need to check Saturday. So we'll try and get a live stream to cover that with Independence Live and get it out there. So we've covered quite a few of these demos. So
thousands, Kev.
So we'll try and get somebody out there. Yeah.
All right. Right. Talking about Kirsten here.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what could I play? And this came up. Robbie Williams and Nicole Kidman.
Oh, aye.
Something stupid.
All right. Let's see.
How very apt for Kirsten here. You are something stupid, muppet. da, da. Yep, Robbie Williams, Nicole Kidman, something stupid. Something stupid like Kirsten Hare, Kev.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know. Have you ever noticed, Kev, every time I ask you a question, it's 90% of the time it's absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other time it's
that the one
right. Yeah, right. It's the other one.
So I keep getting pulled up for repeating certain words.
I do quite a lot.
Yeah.
And then you made a fool of me. You said you put out a Twitter tweet and it said lots of diddly dee and diddly dum.
Well,
that was because I went diddly dum dee 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 dee, and that stuck.
I wish Cactus just come in as well, Norrie, and I wish they'd moved to that other seat and I could get him in.
Aye.
If we jump to that other seat, we can get him in as a
co-host.
Yeah.
Which one are you on, Cactus? Too? Speak.
Hello.
There he goes.
There you go. I can listen to that voice. So sexy voice.
But we've only got about a minute left.
Well, Cactus is going to be on from after the news at 2 till 7. He's crazy.
He's got.
Thank you.
He says he's downloaded a load of tunes, but they're not in the system yet. I've just had a look. But never mind. You can always use mine, Cactus. Right, Kev. 20 seconds to go.
Yeah. So reminder: we might be doing Independence Live might be doing a live stream tomorrow from Pacific Quay in Glasgow. It's the BBC Bias demo. So we might get somebody along to cover that.
We'd like to thank everybody that's taken the trouble to contribute to the show today. It had a few bits and pieces going up and down, but all in all, no bad show.
Absolutely.
So have a great weekend. If you're going to the Transmit Festival, be careful. God bless you all. Bye for now.
Bye.
I put it on my Google Drive account. I've still got to put it onto Play It Live, I think, then.
Are you off here? Are we off here?